Hey everyone, it's Wednesday and 6 p.m. And as we decided, we're meeting here. Hi Srishti, welcome. Waiting for all my friends to join in. And I think Instagram is telling everybody that we are now live. Thank you so much for the overwhelming response that we had. When I put out the message that, we want to do something live and discuss, a very important aspect today. First of all, to start off with, I really want to check in on all of you and hope and pray that all of you are doing fine. I don't think there's anybody here who doesn't have a friend or a family member or a parent or a child or a neighbor who's not affected by COVID right now. So my prayers and heartfelt wishes to all of you. There's tons of information going around, about hospital beds, where they're available and oxygen and all of that. So, I haven't really started sharing that updated information, but I really hope you have access to all of that. Thanks so much. I'm fine. I'm really fine. Though, yes, I do have friends and family down right now as well with COVID. And, I seek your support and prayers as well in getting them back on track. So, dear friends, let's jump right into this. We'll keep it very interactive, so you can also keep dropping in questions and we can talk about it. The first thing when it comes to anxiety is, a lot of parents messaged me, a lot of you messaged me saying, ma'am, forget about the kids. We are so anxious. We are so stressed out about what it is, what's going on right now. And I completely agree because, medicines are short, hospital beds are short, oxygen is short. And I don't think any of us have found ourselves in this situation where we're running helter-skelter for help. But I think now is the time to come together and hold ourselves together because it is what it is and we'll have to deal with it. So before we get to our kids and how to manage their questions, their anxieties, their fears, because yes, there are a whole lot of them, I think I want to touch on a few aspects about ourselves and what are we doing right now to manage our own anxieties. Because let's not forget that our anxieties are rubbing off on our kids. They live with us. They don't step out of the house these days. And everything that we are feeling, every expression that we have on our faces is being transmitted to them. And that's how we are also adding on to their thoughts, fears, and anxieties, right? So let's come to the information overload. The first thing, right? Yes, there is COVID-related information, but the first thing about anxiety is what are we doing about it, right? Do we have our TVs on the whole day? Are we constantly refreshing our browsers to check COVID-related updates? Are we tracking, every case, every death, the update numbers that are coming in? Because, we don't think about these things consciously, but all of this is seeping in to cause increasing anxiety. All right. So the first thing I want to say is, guys, please choose your information sources, whether it's the TV, whether it is, your news sites, whether it is the newspaper. Pick one source and get the basic information. This day-to-day, minute-to-minute update is going to be pulling us down. The second thing is WhatsApp related information. A lot of it is true. A lot of it is not true. So please go to fact check and cross check the facts, right? So, suddenly people say, smell this and eat that and breathe this way and, do that. But is it true? Is it helping you? Is it not helping you? What's not causing harm is fine. It may not help you. So I think doing a fact check is very important, right? And what is the information that we are sharing? That is also very, very critical to figuring out how to go about this. And I think once our information is in process, planning and keeping control of the situation is very important. Right now, all of us have a lot of things to plan, right? In case of an emergency, who are the people we contact, who have access to hospitals, to beds, to injections, to medicines. So, if you don't have a case right now at home, I think this is the time to plan for it, because without planning, things are not easy to work on these days. So I think getting a little bit of that in control is very, very important. So that's a little bit about drawing up a plan and keeping the information at bay. So let's come now to kids, right? This is what we're here for, which is what about our children and their anxieties, right? Can you raise your hand? How many of you have children who are stressed about the COVID-related anxieties and you're able to feel the stress? Can you quickly say yes if you're able to sense any kind of stress, any kind of, concern or communication issue that you face since when this entire second wave of COVID has come together? So please, just give me an indication if you have. You can raise your hand or say yes. So see, we have a lot of friends who are saying that this is happening at home. Okay. So how do we deal with this? Guys, I think we all realize it's a fact and that we cannot shelter our children anymore, right? We cannot hide them away and protect them from this fact that there is a crisis right now. And that is something we have to accept. Whether your child is 2 or whether your child is a teenager, 16, 17, 18 years old, we cannot shield them, right? That's point number 1. The second point is, how do we deal with this information that they have? They're listening to us talk. They're listening to us absorb news. They're listening to it on the TV. So they're probably getting this half-hearted information. वो कुछ समझ रहे हैं, पता नहीं what they're understanding, what they are deciphering, right, from this information. The first thing I recommend, my dear friends, sit your children down and talk to them. So what do I mean about when I say talk to your children? So we need to have age-appropriate conversations about the COVID-19 crisis with our children, right? So when I say age-appropriate, we need to validate the information that they already have and correct them and add on new information if you need to. For example, if your 5-year-old child is saying, oh, that person has corona, he's going to die, right? So we need to talk to them and first explain to them that, look, yes, these are germs, this is the coronavirus, but it doesn't mean that. And you give them the age appropriate information. If you're talking to a child of 9, 10, 11 years old, you can provide more information. You can show them some statistics. You can talk about how this is becoming from a droplet to probably it is feeling like an airborne infection. What is the information? Give them the facts, give them the actual facts according to their age, right? And don't ever say kuch nahi hoga, kuch nahi hai, kuch bhi nahi hai, and brush it under the carpet, because that is going to confuse children who already know ki bahut sara kuch ho raha hai. It's going to confuse children who know that there is an issue. So the first thing is validation of facts. You talk to them, correct them where they are wrong, add on the right information. The second thing is reassurance. We need to reassure our children about the situation. We are not over reassuring. We are not going to say ki there is nothing and everything is hunky-dory, because it is not. They're not going to school. They're not going to the park. They're not going on holiday. So obviously everything is not okay. So when we say reassure, we need to talk about what are those steps we as parents are doing to keep them safe. We as a family are doing to keep them safe, right? So can we do that? Give me a thumbs up, all of you. Can we do that? Talk to them about washing hands repeatedly, wearing masks, and how all of this is going to protect them, right? We talk about how we as a family are taking steps. We are not meeting people. We are staying indoors. You as a community, what is happening? Your apartment building or your community, what is happening there? What are the steps people are taking? What is the government doing? So you provide them the correct amount of reassurance that if you do all of these things, we have a great chance of being safe, right? And even if COVID does reach us, there is help. There is help available, and there is something that we can do about it. Dear parents, here at this point, I really want to say that when a child absorbs negative information, they immediately don't respond the way adults deal with it. What do we do when we get information? We go into shock. We're like, oh my God, this happened. Now I'm going to read up about it. I'm going to Google about it, and I'm going to think about it and talk about it. Kids don't respond the same way, right? So when they get bad news, the way they process it is very different. They probably forget about it and they go to play, right? If something's happened to their family member, they don't respond at the same time. But what does happen is that at a quieter time, typically bedtime, I have seen this with my own children. When they hear something, they don't talk about it, and they go on with their schedules. But in the night at bedtime, when the lights are off, when they have to sleep, that is when all the anxieties and the fears come out. And that is the time we need to again have very calming conversations. The demons come out at night for them, right? So what is going to happen to my parents? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my friends? All of these thoughts start coming. So again, validation and reassurance is very important. The second thing is, what kind of reactions and responses are we as parents portraying at home, right? So we get a phone call and we're like, oh my God, aisa ho gaya? Oh no, matlab wo to young tha, or this. What's happening? Your child is listening to half the conversation, listening to your your shocked voice, looking at your facial expressions, and getting very, very sad and scared, right? So when you get a phone call, what are we going to do? We need to go outside or go to a separate room or go to a quieter place where the child is not there and talk in private. Shield them from as much unnecessary new news and new information as possible. You don't want the TV on. So we're coming to the second point, which is communication. The first was validation and reassurance. The second is on the communication overload. Or what are the sources of communication? Do they have access to your phone? Are they checking your WhatsApp forwards? Are they checking about, what is happening, what information is coming about, all of these, the death statistics and the death tolls? Is your TV the whole day on Aaj Tak and, Times and Republic constantly showing you these breaking news? It's not necessary. Guys, please watch the news for half an hour or whatever you choose to do it, but do it when your kids are not around. They don't need this extra information. They're already going through claustrophobia, the whole feeling of feeling trapped. The information is not needed. When you need to talk to them, when you need to answer a phone call regarding COVID, you take it in a different room and take it in privacy. You don't, talk to them in front of the kids. So if you have any questions so far, I'll be happy to take them, or we'll move ahead. How are your kids dealing with it? Are there any instances you want to share? You can type it out and I can address those questions. Thank you so much, guys, for checking in and talking about, yes, I'm really happy my videos help you. So many of you saying that. So any questions or observations that you have on kids during these times, we can definitely talk about it, right? So we'll move on to the next thing, is what kind of behaviors anxious behaviors are children exhibiting these days. Guys, when we talk about mental health of children, it is okay. We have a message coming in dealing with aggression, and okay. Hydro personification is talking about how she and her husband were positive, and now the eldest son is 7, acting really weird, going. Yeah, we'll come to online classes. That's important. So the thing about anxious behaviors in children is that it doesn't play out the way anxious behaviors in adults probably do, right? Or when you talk about mental health, they are not going to be as logical, or the kind of behaviors that you expect. It will come out in different ways. Today, if you see your child throwing a tantrum for a reason that didn't need a tantrum, it is not the issue about that, right? So the child wanted a chocolate, and normally the child would have understood that she or she shouldn't have it. And today the child is throwing a tantrum. All I want you to understand that it is not about the chocolate. It is about all these months. It's about this whole year of them not getting what they want, which is coming out in different kinds of behaviors, right? It is not about, I only said this. I only said, let's do something else. I only said, oh, today you can't meet a friend. Or I only said, don't have a chocolate. It's not about that point. It is about everything else which has mounted on their heads for the last 1 year. So swallow it. You'll have to take a sip of water, swallow it, hug your child and say, I understand. You cannot solve their problem right now, right? So my daughter, let me tell you, I'm sharing a very personal. My daughter has a friend in the neighborhood. She had invited her for a play date last Friday, and unfortunately one of our house helps turned positive, so we didn't do the play date. She said, okay, can I do it this Friday? I had agreed. This Friday, one of that girl's house help turned positive, so the play date's off. And she is so unhappy. She's depressed about it, and because for her, she's 8 years old, that was the big thing in her mind. But what do I do about it, right? So how did I deal with that situation? The first thing I said to her was, look, safety is the first thing, and I have to keep you safe. We have to be safe. You know what's going on, and we can do all the play dates, but we have to be safe right now. Are you with me, right? The first thing we do to our children when they're upset is about not going out, about not having what they want is, dear child, I understand it is very hard, but the first thing I need to do is keep you safe. The second thing I did was I hugged her and I put her on my lap and I said, I understand. I understand. It's very, so I'm careful to not use the word depressing or, sad, but it is disappointing. Yes, you had planned for a play date, but everything always doesn't go according to our plans. And right now, our main big plan is to be safe, right? So don't use the word, depression or anxiety or sadness or any of those too much around them. So we talk about, okay, oh, sorry, there are a lot of messages here that I didn't see the COVID. Okay. Yeah, so we talk about all of those. Sorry, I'm just quickly scrolling through the messages because, there's so many of them and I just don't want to. Yeah, so the first thing I did was this. I told her about how it's hard, but we have to deal with it. And I hugged her and I reassured her, I validated that yes, it is a problem. Yes, this was not our plan. We had planned a play date, but we need to do this. And then I said, what do we want to do now? Play dates cancelled, what do we want to do? So then she started thinking, let them come up with their own plans. So she said, at least can we bake a cake together, right? So give them a plan B. If something is not happening, something they want to do is not happening, some tantrums coming out, they want some toy, they want to go to Hamleys, they want to go to a toy shop, it's not happening. What is the plan B? Can we do a picnic at home? Can mama cook something that you really like? Can we bake a pizza at home? So try and have a plan B option where the child feels, okay, at least I have something. So that's the second thing. So these are one level of anxieties which can come out, and these are smaller ones that we can deal with. Nothing is too small. Having said that, you need to talk about, how things are very hard. But what are the signs to look out for? If your child is completely clamping up, right, not coming out of the room, not talking to you, not opening up, that is a sign to be worried about, right? Also to be worried about is a child who normally liked to do something but has suddenly stopped wanting to do that. So a child who normally liked art and craft a lot and suddenly has not doing that, has suddenly stopped doing that. A child who was completely potty trained suddenly has started wetting the bed. Now these are very clear signs that there is something that the child is very, very worried about, and you will need to do something to allay the child's fears. So I'm going to share a phone number here, which is of the Arpan helpline, which is 9819086444. This is the helpline of Arpan CSA. I have just shared. Please call them and talk to them. Your child can talk to them. They have brilliant counselors who can talk to them if you feel you're not equipped to deal with that situation, right? Yeah. So I'm going to start taking a few questions now. Dear parents, I'm getting a variety of questions, but I want to talk more about anxiety and COVID-related fears that people have, and not so much about learning today because, we have a limited time. I want to take about 15-20 minutes of questions and, what we can do. So Akriti talks about attention, right? So she's not able to get their attention. And yes, so this attention is a great question. One, your children are not giving you attention and you think something's very important and you want to convey to them, they're not paying attention. And the second thing is they are not paying attention to anything. Their classes, they're fidgety, they are distracted, there is no focus, and they are completely all over the place. So attention is, so we'll take it in, two steps. One, your children not listening to you. So that's a very common complaint I constantly get, which is I am screaming and I'm yelling and I'm also reduced to tears and my children are not listening to me. So dear parents, you are not alone. Okay, first of all, I want to send a virtual hug and a high five to all of you. Please give me a high five, which is the double hand symbol. You are doing a fantastic job of keeping your home together. So mothers and fathers or teachers, whoever you are, please give me a high five back. I'm giving you a huge pat on the back because I believe you are doing a fantastic job. My compliments to all of you and my empathies and sympathies with all of you. What you are doing is not easy. You are doing a great job. You're managing home, you're managing your work, you're managing your kids, you're managing moods, you're managing parents, you're managing COVID. Be kind to yourself. There is a lot going on. Don't Kill yourself on those little bits which are not happening right now. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for the high fives. We have tons of high fives. Akanksha, hydro personification, Priyanka. Okay, sorry. Just trying to scroll. Chaitra, Rajiv, Nick, Sarmi, Manisha, Said, Nivedita. I hope I'm not missing names. There's so many of you. Wow, this is so nice. Right? So the first thing is, please decide what are the important things. So this is about not wanting to yell and scream. And this is something, see, I am a parenting coach, but I also have young children and I also fall into the same traps. It is not a sin to fall into the trap of yelling. What's important is to catch yourself and be conscious of it and try and pull yourself out of the situation, right? So what do we do when we find ourselves yelling at our children? Stop yelling, first of all. Please stop yelling. It is not going to help. You're going to get sick of your own voice. Have you felt that? I feel that sometimes I'm sick of my own voice because, I'm yelling and people are not listening sometimes. So stop doing that. It's not going to work. What's going to work is say, please, I cannot scream. Get down to the eye level of the child and say, beta, look, we need to do this. You have 1 more hour of online class. Naina, I'm talking about how to not yell. Okay, this is something which I am trying and has worked with me. Try it out. Make your child sit and listen to you for 30 seconds. Come down to the eye level. Take a deep breath. When your child is throwing a tantrum, you cannot throw a bigger tantrum than the child, right? Your child is yelling and screaming. You cannot yell over. Otherwise, you're also throwing a tantrum. And remember, children don't have emotional regulators. Children are not in control of their emotions. Who's in control of their emotions? We're supposed to be. Whether we're not or whether we are supposed to be in control of our emotions. So get your child and say, look, I have no energy to yell and I'm not interested in yelling. Please, whatever is the work, right? Finish your online class, or please, just finish this chore and then play as much as you want, right? There is no point you and I doing this, and let's agree on a deal, right? Make the small deal, buy your piece. Your child goes and says, okay, fine, and says, okay, after that I'll play for 2 hours or I'll do this or whatever. And we'll do that. So that is one. Catch their attention by calming them down. Calm yourself. In a very non-agitated voice, talk about small things. The importance of ignoring is paramount right now. Please ignore things which don't matter. This is not the time for you to worry if your child is coming first in class. This is not the time to worry if your child has finished every last bit of homework. This is not the time to worry if your child is wandering about a little bit during online class. It's okay, the child is also tired. So some things you have to ignore. I'm not saying completely be negligent. I'm not saying become a negligent parent, but I'm saying you will need to take the call of where to let go of the small things, right? And how to make sure that the important things are done. So if it is not a major issue, then let go. House is a mess. Is that priority right now? Guys, house is a mess. Maids are not there. Is that a priority for you to worry about? Divide your tasks with your partners. Let it be. Do the best you can, right? So this is not the time for you to say, how can I be the best? How can I do everything? How can I be perfect? It's okay. Just relax and just go ahead, okay? Okay, so the second question I have here is about how to deal with COVID, infected children at home. So it is very, very hard. So I will save this live session. So guys, I had COVID in February, right? So I want to share with you that I went through COVID in Feb. I didn't let you know because in Feb I didn't want to create a sense of panic, and I kept working throughout, and that's how you saw my videos and everything even throughout. And I know I was indoors in a room for 15 days It was very lonely. I had all of you for support. I had all of you giving me company, and I had my, friends and family who who were a constant support and cheering me. But it is not easy to be alone without family connect, without the touch and feel of your loved ones, and the fear that what's going to happen. Now, now imagine the same thing happening to little children. It is very, very scary. So the first thing I would say, when your child is detected as COVID positive, which we are seeing increasingly, is to keep your calm, because it has happened, right? The child has been diagnosed as COVID positive. So it has happened. You can't go back in time, right? The child is quarantined, and then what do? Try and keep the child calm. Don't overpromise that, in 5 days आप negative होके बाहर निकलोगे, because we know this, right? Children are taking 14 to 15 days as well to become negative. So if you want to do a repeat test, my appeal to you is, don't overpromise that your child will come out in 5-6 days, and don't keep testing the child every 3 days, because that wait for the test result is very, very difficult for an adult and for a child. So tell the child that, look, this is how it is. If your child is not a toddler, I mean, this is for slightly grown-up children. Even 9, 10, 12-year-old children find it very, very difficult. Try and keep the child, motivated by giving them comics. Order some new comics for them, something light. Give them some movies to watch. Again, too much screen time is going to be a pain, and it's going to be, very tiring for them. So request them to have, enough limited access to screen time. Ask them to not Google too much, not read up about it. All of this, if you can put parental controls and block, that'll be very helpful. So give them some suggested movies, give them some comics. Try and make their favorite food, right? And guys, yes, I'm not a health expert, and I'm not a medical doctor, but yes, immunity is something we're hearing about. Please give your children a lot of vitamin C, a lot of orange juice, a lot of, all the supplements, whatever your doctor has recommended. Deep breathing, steam, all of this is known to be helping children. And keep calm, and this too shall pass. Children have fantastic resilience, and they will bounce back. So don't worry about it, right? But yes, look for the signs, look for the breathing, issues or difficulties, and deal with that. So we spoke about listening. Okay, so a lot of you have sent in requests to be added. Maybe I'll just add 3 or 4 people randomly. Okay, so actually, whoever wants to be added to this, why don't you just send me a request? So I don't know those who have already requested. Maybe I'm ignoring those. So I'm the first 3 people who send me a request to be added. Let me add you to the call and see if you have questions. Okay, so I have got a lot of people. So let me see. I'm adding Janvi, and I will add Priyanka, and I will add who else? Okay, I'm randomly adding. So I have invited 3 people to join the session. Okay, yeah. So somebody is here. Hi there.
Hi, Pallavi.
Hi.
My name is Priyanka.
Hi, Priyanka.
I follow your page. Thank you so much for the inspiring videos.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And I hope you and your family are doing well.
Yes, thank you. By God's grace, we are all safe.
Lovely.
My concern was regarding my son. He's actually
Yes.
7 years old and studying
Okay.
in class 7. Otherwise, he's a very good kid and
He's
obedient
7
child.
years old in class 7.
Class fourth.
Class 4. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
otherwise, he's very obedient. But these days, due to COVID and very, what should I say, very bounded situation, uh, he's not, what should I say, following all of the things. Like वो हर चीज के
Okay.
लिए मना कर देता है, नहीं मेरा मन नहीं है, मैंने नहीं करना. I have to push him hard. So maybe if you can guide me as a mother how to calm myself more as compared to, suggesting him. Maybe you can
So,
just give me
so
some
see, the
tips.
thing is, I think you've answered it yourself that you're pushing him hard. क्या ये टाइम है
I
ज्यादा
do.
पुश करने का? ये शायद टाइम नहीं है पुश करने का. हम खुद पुश नहीं हो पा रहे. हमारा मेंटल स्टेट तो देखो कैसा है. हम खुद इतने परेशान हैं.
Right.
हम खुद इतने, वो 7 साल का बच्चा, छोड़ दो उसको. Just let him be. It is very hard. It's very hard. और किस चीज के लिए आप पुश कर रहे हैं उसको? पढ़ाई के लिए?
जी.
10th
जनरली भी
बोर्ड
कुछ बात
कैंसिल.
करने हो
10th
लाइक
बोर्ड
सीधा
कैंसिल हो
बैठना
रहे
है.
हैं. 10th स्टैंडर्ड के बोर्ड एग्जाम्स कैंसिल हो रहे हैं. नीट के एग्जाम्स कैंसिल हो रहे हैं. 12th बोर्ड्स पोस्टपोन हो रहे हैं. 7 साल का बच्चा पुश करना चाहिए कि नहीं? आप खुद सोचो.
Okay,
कुछ,
fine.
right? So I think you have the best interest. It's not your fault. You want your child to do well. But do well doesn't mean studying right now. Right? Summer vacations आ रहे हैं. कुछ activities आप दे दो उसको. Story books, art and club. जो उसको अच्छा लगे. Do
हर
those
चीज
things.
के लिए he's feeling disinterested. Like even if he's watching TV ना, he's very much laid back. सीधा बैठने में भी he's also not interested. So I was being little more concerned. Like
So
छोटी छोटी
you,
बात होती है, body posture.
so see, I'll tell you one of the things that I do. I have an 8-year-old daughter at home. What I do is sometimes, on Sundays I sit and I say, "Chal, let's make our schedule. हमको क्या करना है?" So I ask her, what does she want to do? So I make the schedule 80% what she wants to do, 20% what I want to do. Now 80% where she feels that mama is letting me do, and 20% she also feels कि चलो सुन लेती हो. So आप पहले
Right.
बच्चे का इंटरेस्ट लो. और बच्चा इस वक्त क्या पूछेगा? What will the child ask? Give it to the child.
ठीक है, ठीक है,
Right?
ठीक है,
So
fine,
I hope
fine,
try
fine.
it out and send me a DM or drop me a message. Make a schedule together. This is for all parents. Make a schedule together where the child also feels that उनकी बात is valuable, that you are listening,
Got
and
the
the
idea.
child also has control, and you also put a little bit and then agree. Yeah.
Fine, fine,
Okay.
fine. Got the idea. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Priyanka. Take care. I'll add
You
somebody
too.
else now.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
How to leave? How to leave? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Good question.
How to
I'm
leave
also.
something like this is my
I also.
first chance.
Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll add somebody else and then automatically.
I will rejoin. I'll try this way. You continue with
Okay.
the session and
Yeah.
I'll rejoin after quitting. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah, you're most welcome. I'll add 2 or 3 people and let me see who is able to join. All right. Hi, somebody from Colombia here. So nice. Okay, somebody has declined. I don't know where they are. If somebody, okay, guys, if somebody wants to join, send me a fresh request. I will add 2 more people before we conclude the talk and take your live questions. 2 or 3 more people, maybe. Let's see who else. I will definitely save this session. Okay. I will add, I'm inviting Rajiv Punya. He has requested. I've invited you.
हाय मैम,
Yes.
गुड इवनिंग
Hi, good evening.
मैम। बहुत अच्छा लगा आपको सुन के, और सबसे अच्छी बात जो आप कह रहे हो कि बच्चों को पुश नहीं करना है, वो सबसे अमेजिंग था, क्योंकि मैं भी एक ऑटिस्टिक बच्चे पे काम कर रहा हूँ, और उसकी
Okay.
पूरी फैमिली जो है, मैं आपसे ये क्वेश्चन डाला था कि व्हाट अबाउट स्पेशल नीड किड्स, तो उसकी पूरी फैमिली पॉजिटिव है, बट बहुत परेशान है, तो उसके रिगार्डिंग पूछना था कि बच्चे को इस सिचुएशन में क्या किया जाए, क्योंकि वो भी
बच्चे
पॉजिटिव
का
है।
एज क्या है?
मैम 7 ईयर।
ओ, और वो भी पॉजिटिव है?
वो भी पॉजिटिव है। और ये
ये
आप प्लीज
ये
मैम
आपके
आप
फैमिली है?
नहीं मैम, मैं किसी बच्चे पे काम कर रहा हूँ। आई एम
ओके,
स्पेशल एजुकेटर। बट मैं आपके
यू आर अ
थ्रू यही
स्पेशल
मैसेज,
एजुकेटर। ओके,
यस मैम, मैं आपके थ्रू यही मैसेज दिलवाना चाहता था पेरेंट्स को कि ये जो वायरस है ये बच्चों को भी बहुत नुकसान पहुंचा रहा है। और मेरे
बिल्कुल
सराउंडिंग
बिल्कुल।
20 बच्चे पॉजिटिव है। मेरे बगल वाले घर में नीचे वो किसी एक फैमिली मेंबर टच में आया था तो उसने सबके साथ प्ले किया। 20 लोग पॉजिटिव है और उसमें बच्चे हैं 5। तो मैं प्लीज आपके थ्रू मैं मैसेज पेरेंट्स तक पहुंचाना चाहता हूँ कि बच्चों को जितना हो सकता है सेफ रखें। घर में जितनी तोड़ फोड़ करते हैं इट्स ओके, बट ये वायरस बहुत तंग कर रहा है।
नहीं, आपने बिल्कुल ठीक बोला है। एंड आई थिंक ये मैं डेफिनेटली ये प्लेटफॉर्म को, वी हैव ऑलमोस्ट 1.5 लाख पीपल अक्रॉस यूट्यूब, फेसबुक एंड इंस्टाग्राम। मैं जरूर ये रिपीट करना चाहूंगी कि जो फर्स्ट वेव था, सब लोग बोल रहे थे कि बच्चों को टच नहीं करेगा और कुछ नहीं होगा। सेकेंड वेव में क्योंकि उसका इन्फेक्शियस कंटेजियसनेस वैल्यू इतना हाई है तो बच्चों तक भी पहुंच रहा है। तो बहुत जरूरी है, सारे पेरेंट्स प्लीज कीप योर चिल्ड्रन एट होम, इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड बार बार हाथ धोने की सीख हम दें, पास में भी वॉक पे भी जाए तो मास्क पहने। एंड हाँ, अगर मतलब ये सारी चीजें, बच्चे बहुत इंटेलिजेंट होते हैं, अगर हम बार बार उनको बताएंगे तो मेरे मेरे खुद का 4 साल का बेटा है, वो खुद पूछता है जब कोई आता है, आपका टेस्ट हो गया क्या, आप मास्क नहीं पहन रहे हो। बहुत इंटेलिजेंट होते हैं
मैं
बच्चे।
इसमें मैं आपको मैं बहुत अच्छी बात ऐड करना चाहता हूँ। जैसे मैं होम ट्यूशन देता हूँ, मैं ऑलमोस्ट दिल्ली एनसीआर में 5 साल से होम ट्यूशन देता हूँ और मेरा मेन फोकस होम ट्यूशन में है। मैं जब लॉकडाउन के पहले, लॉकडाउन के बाद जब वापस गया तो ज्यादातर बच्चे जो पेरेंट्स कहते थे कैप नहीं लगाता, ये नहीं करता, उन सब बच्चों में मैं 2 साल से लेकर के 10 साल तक के बच्चे देखता हूँ, सब बच्चे मास्क लगाना सीख गए थे। हमें जानना यह है कि पेरेंट्स अगर थोड़ा सा उनके साथ काम करते हैं तो बच्चे उनको कोऑपरेट करते हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, इस टाइम बहुत जरूरी है कि पेरेंट्स ही टीचर्स भी हैं, पेरेंट्स ही फ्रेंड्स हैं, सब कुछ पेरेंट्स अच्छे से समझाएं।
क्योंकि हमें पता है कि मैम, जैसे अभी आप कह रहे हो हाथ जोड़ के मैं कह रही हूँ, क्या हम कभी इन सब चीजों को फॉलो करते हैं कि हाथ जोड़ के किसी रिक्वेस्ट करनी पड़ रही है? क्योंकि हमें बच्चों की फिक्र है, पेरेंट्स की फिक्र है, क्योंकि वो लोग हमारे साथ जुड़े रहते हैं एज ए फैमिली मेंबर
राइट,
की तरह।
जी
तो मैं भी
बिल्कुल।
ये
एंड
लास्ट,
आई थिंक सबका ये ड्यूटी है कि अपने अपने तरफ से, जो टीचर्स हैं यहाँ पे, जो भी है, जिनका भी अपने सर्कल में इन्फ्लुएंस है, बार बार यही बातें दोहराएं। और जो पेरेंट्स फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं उनको बार बार ये रिक्वेस्ट करें, क्योंकि ये कम्युनिटी इन्फेक्शन है और ये चेन रिएक्शन है। आप
यस मैम,
इरेस्पॉन्सिबल होंगे तो सबके लिए वो होगा। और मैं, आई नो फैमिलीज जहाँ पे पूरी केयर लेने के बाद उनको हो रहा है और
यस
पूरा
मैम,
मतलब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के साथ। सो थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग।
थैंक यू मैम, मैं इसी यही शेयर करना चाहता था। थैंक यू
बेस्ट टू
मैम,
यू एंड टेक केयर।
थैंक यू मैम, बाय मैम, बाय।
थैंक यू, बाय बाय। ऑल राइट, if there's anybody else who would like to be added, I would like to take a final question on dealing with children during these difficult times, and we will then conclude. Nana, okay, Nana, send me a request. Have you sent me a request already? Yes. Nana will need the latest version to join. Nana, unfortunately, you don't have the latest version. All right. So these are some of the things that I wanted to talk about, and let me see if there are any other questions that yeah. I'm just looking if there are any questions. Mostly I'm seeing questions about, okay, so let's come to this about online screen time, right? Online screen time in, okay, yeah. online screen time and what to do about entertaining children, right, in these difficult times. Guys, this is a real question, how to entertain children. So what can we do to entertain children right now? One is abhi screen time ko thoda hum normalize kare. Let us not get hyperactive that if your child is watching about 2 to 3 hours of screen exposure, 3 to 4 hours, school and everything, it is all right. So typically 2-3 hours happen in school. After that also, if the child has 2 to 3 hours, it's okay. It is safer right now, right? Addiction is a different thing if the child is sitting on videos throughout. But can you buy a few board games for your children? Can you get your children interested in reading? Can you get your children put them onto an online hobby class like a musical instrument or a singing class? Can you do any of these other activities? Because I know most of you are busy. It's very difficult for you to play with them. But yes, so for example, some of the things we've been doing, Fridays we do movie night at home where all of us, my husband, myself, my children and I, we sit and we watch a kids movie together. Family hour is very important. Or we play board games together, we do, game night. Or we do board games together, right? All of this. So try and look. Okay, there are a lot of people ask me, how do we protect our children from the virus? How do we protect our children from the virus? First of all, we stay paranoid. We don't send our children to, outside. Of course, if you have a small empty garden area, or if your layout it's empty in non-peak hour, if the child can take a walk, based on your community rules and regulations with a mask, that is okay. But otherwise, I would say keep the child's immunity up. Now, there are parents asking me, if the family has COVID, how do we protect the child? If the whole family has COVID, unfortunately, the child will get it. So contact your pediatrician on what are the medical, what are the medicines to give to, keep the child comfortable, and keep observing and, do that, because if everybody at home has it, how can the child escape it? It's very difficult, right? So, dear friends, I hope this session has been useful, and I have shared a couple of, things with you, a couple of ideas with you on how to manage anxiety. And I pray all of you are safe, and, keep sending me all your questions. You can drop me questions. Usually it's very difficult. A lot of you say we send you DMs, you don't reply. I get hundreds and thousands of DMs every day. It's impossible for me. But yes, on my posts, if you comment, I'll try and comment there. Send me topics what you want me to make videos on, and take care of yourselves, take care of your children, your families, and my prayers to all of you. Hope we get through all of this safe and on the other side, and life is happy again, right? Love and prayers to all of you. I'll be in touch with you. I need all your high spirits as well, and the way you can connect with me is through the videos that I make and through my channel. Please stay connected, and whatever energy I'm rubbing off on you, I also look forward to the same energy, right? And keep my family in your prayers as well. I think all of us need everybody's prayers. Thank you. Bye. Take care.